Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cinderellimouse and today I've got a bit of a Sims cast video for you all. Now I'm a bit hungover because I just watched the Eurovision contest last night. If you don't know what the Eurovision Song Contest is, I think most people do now. It's basically a number of countries from Europe and sometimes that aren't from Europe that get to compete in a song contest. It's not meant to be political, but it always feels political. This is like a truth from my childhood. I know some people have like talked about boycotting this year for certain reasons, and I totally understand those sentiments and those feelings. For me, it's like this is not anything new. It's always felt political. There's always been controversy around it. And so I'm like, that's kind of part of Eurovision. That's kind of part of the meme. So I understand why people would boycott it. I didn't. I also don't vote. So I have never voted for the Eurovision once in my life, but I like to sit there and judge other people's voting choices. Like I'm there for the jokes. I'm there for the humor. I'm not the sort of person who takes it too seriously until I'm like 2 glasses deep in red wine and suddenly I am angry at the way judges assign votes and things like that. So yeah, I want to say that this is quite lighthearted, despite kind of the state of the fucking world. And I also want to say that I'm doing kind of like Eurovision memes. I'm doing like stereotypical this happens every year kind of stuff. And I'm not talking about any specific individuals. I'm not talking about any specific country. This is intended to be like a parody, satire, joke. Yeah, I'm going to get into it with that said. So, Nancy Landgrab. Nancy's not actually competing. She did compete once. She's from one of the Nordic countries, and she's kind of in one of those like top 5 guaranteed a place type countries. And she did compete once. It was kind of like maybe like in the 70s, in the 80s. I like to think that she did something like Olivia Newton-John. Yeah, she didn't do very well. She kind of came 5th, but there was only 5 people competing that year. So she goes around telling people she did really well in the Eurovision when she was in, like a teenager, but she didn't really. Yeah, she's actually married to one of the judges. So, and her company, she has a very, very successful international business now, and her business do actually donate huge amounts of money to the Eurovision. And I'm saying Eurovision, but in your mind, think of like a Sims equivalent. I couldn't think of a good name for it. But yeah, she donates huge amounts of money to the contest every year. She's like a big supporter, and that's why they thought they'd finally honor her with a place. Some people say it was a bribery thing. Other people say like, no, this is a legend. This is a Eurovision legend and she deserves to host this year. So she is from the host country. Like I say, it's one of the kind of like Nordic-y type countries. And yeah, that's her thing. So she's very, very glamorous. This is her first outfit. So this obviously, I've got them in the party wear. This is Nancy's normal party wear. But her first outfit, because of course the host needs an outfit change, is this absolute stunner. I think this is from high school years, if anyone's interested in any of these outfits. I do need to say ad at this point because I do get not all my packs, most of my packs have come from the EA Creator Network. So take this as an advertisement. I intend it to be, I like playing The Sims. I've always enjoyed playing The Sims and I want to do Sims Eurovision. Like this is just me doing my own thing basically, but if anyone wants to pick anything up, you can use my creator code. It's Cinderellimouse, and you can use this on the EA app, and a part of that money that you spend will come in my direction. So thanks so much to those of you who do that. No pressure, take it. Do you know what, if you want to say that I'm advertising, fine. If you want to see that I'm just a simmer having fun, also fine. So yeah, she's very, very glam. Of course, she's had her nails done for this event. Let me just zoom in on her hands. French manicure, big, gorgeous ring there. She's got her pearls out. These are like ancestral pearls from her forefathers. Yeah, she's looking pretty damn glam, if I do say so for myself. Her cheekbones are snatched. Looks a bit much here, but on camera, she's going to look absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, the judge needs an outfit change. So she has this little red number. This was inspired by the outfit change last night. Again, she's not intended to be any of the actual real life hosts. But one of the hosts, like, they both kind of had this red look to them, the two that were kind of on stage, and one had a kind of similar dress. So I thought that's kind of perfect. It feels like it's, you know, matching the style of Eurovision 2025. So yeah, I went with that. But again, she's not intended to be any actual real person. I've kind of like taken like stereotypes and like just things that commonly happen, or like things that get commonly criticized about Eurovision, and kind of like bundled it all up into like one meme or one satirical piece. So yeah, again, please don't think I'm talking about any specific host, because I'm not. She could be any host, right? And she could be any of those people, like when the voting happens and it's like, hello from like whatever country.
12 points go to Austria.
And like they do the little piece. She could be any of those people. So yeah, like that is Nancy looking absolutely fantastic. And I can just see her being a Eurovision judge. I just feel like it suits her really, really well. Going over then, I'm going to start on Summer Holiday, I think. So this is Summer Holiday's normal party outfit. So place your bets now. What kind of performance do you think Summer Holiday is going to do? I'm going to give you a clue. She's very, very active. She's got a lot of stamina. So she's going to be like moving around that stage a lot. She's going to do a pop song. So I was kind of thinking about like, again, inspired by but not meant to be. So think like, you know, Bjork, It's Oh So Quiet. And like that kind of like pixie tomboy, very energetic. She's like running around the stage. She's singing this great pop song, really, really catchy. I feel like her pop song's like, it's not going to win, but like people are going to kind of make fun of her because she's dressed kind of like in a very like childish way, right? It's like she understood the assignment though. She knew what Eurovision wanted, right? She delivered. So yeah, very, very energetic performance, very much like aimed at like the youth and like pop culture. Like her song's going to be all over TikTok. So you know, like the UK entry, they didn't do very well, but that kind of what the hell just happened, like, is being used on TikTok now. It's like it's become like a TikTok sound. So that's kind of what her thing's going to do. It's going to be like the summer party anthem. It's going to be everywhere. All the radios are going to be playing it. It's going to be like an earworm. She's going to do really quite well from it, but it's not going to win. Like she's going to probably get nil points. And so like, yeah, that's her whole thing. But she took it really seriously as well. She put her whole heart and soul into it. Like her dance routine that she did was incredible. Like the amount that she was jumping around the stage, like she was not out of breath. Like she gave an actually, like her whole heart and soul was in that performance, and she did really well. Like she showed up knowing what she was there for. And then I feel like at the end, you know, like Bjork, It's Oh So Quiet, where she gets on the crane and it kind of like lifts her up away from the audience. Like she kind of does that at the end as well. So that's what that was the vision that I had for her. So she's got trainers on because again, she's kind of got this. Like, this isn't intended, like, again, if you don't know Eurovision, you might not get what I'm doing here, but this is not intended to be, like, a good outfit. This is not meant to be, like me showing off my cast skills. This is a bit of a joke. So she's really kind of gone a bit overboard. She's got like a bit of a skater girl style going on. She's got kind of like the gamer necklace, like the bright makeup, the fun hair, again kind of Bjork 90s inspired there. Like the little shorts, because she's dancing so much, right? She doesn't want to flash anyone. The little bubble, even though I don't know why she's got the scrunchie, because she's definitely not using that scrunchie today. And yeah, like the fun shoes, because she's all over the stage. And you know what? I probably would love Summer's performance. But yeah, definitely not going to win. Bless her. And then we've got Johnny Zest. So this is Johnny Zest's normal outfit, but you can see that I've made a few changes to him already. Now, this is part of his performance. Now, if you know Johnny Zest, he is a bit of a goofball. So again, think Eurovision stereotypes, goofball performer, what is his performance going to be? Place your bets now, because he is definitely going for something kind of satirical, kind of comedy value. It's actually a bit of a banger. Think like, I would say if he was going to be any kind of entry this year, he'd probably be like the Sweden song, you know how it's like in the sauna, or he'd be like the Espresso Macchiato song with the bouncing aeroplane. So that's the kind of vibe that he's going for. But his song is, okay, send your kids out the room. His song is I'm Horny for Eurovision. But in his language, I don't know, he might be from somewhere like Germany or Sweden or Switzerland, so he's singing in kind of like his native language, but it's I'm horny for Eurovision. So he's going to come out on the stage dressed as an aubergine. It's going to be really bright, there's going to be a lot going on that stage. It's going to be really fun, but really, really silly. But he's also saying something about abuse of power and people who like kind of like sugar daddy type people who abuse their power. Some people think that he's making kind of a comment on Mortimer Garth, so it's been quite controversial because a lot of people really love Mortimer Garth and they don't see him that way. Whether that was intended or not is still kind of not, people aren't sure. So yeah, a bit of a controversial choice. There's definitely something a bit strange going on here. So you can see like it's kind of comedic, it's kind of fun, but it has this kind of dark edge. So he's got these kind of like black claws. Oops, my headphone fell out. So he's going to do actually 3 outfit changes. So he comes out dressed in this at first. About midway through the song, there's a quick outfit change. They pull this off him and underneath he's wearing this outfit. So again, he's kind of like going for like, you know that song that's on TikTok where it's like, tariff my love. It's kind of, I don't know, there's going to be like that kind of vibe to it. He kind of runs around the stage kind of like shooting arrows at people, and it comes up a bit more apparent that, you know, not real arrows, like arrows with like suckers on the end. It's like a joke thing, but it's that thing of kind of like, you know, Eurovision makes him so horny that you know, he's becoming a bit of a like, I don't know, a pest with it, if you want to put it that way. He is actually saying something and it is quite a controversial song choice. And then we're going to go to his last outfit. So right at the end, he goes, like, it changes from this kind of upbeat, kind of like techno kind of song to having like a serious moment at the end, just to really hammer the point home that this is kind of like black humor, satire. And someone comes out and like wraps him in this robe. And this is where people are saying, is that meant to be Mortimer Garth? He kind of comes out and does this like lament at the end, and that's kind of Johnny Zest's performance. So yeah, he's definitely, you know, if you know Johnny Zest, he is technically Nancy Langrab's son, right? And he's kind of like estranged from her. So people are saying like, you know, maybe he's using the styling of Mortimer Garth, but maybe he's talking more about his own family, but he didn't want to be too obvious about it. So I don't know. It's a very, very controversial song this year. He's taking it seriously like it's real. Another kind of very controversial entry is Zoe Patel. I have to say here that I am not... You're all going to think of a certain country, and I didn't intend for her to be that specific country. So I'm not supporting that country. I'm just seeing it as like, I really like Zoe. I always see her as kind of coming from somewhere like India sort of way. So think like, talk about Australia. You know, like how Australia was in the Eurovision one year and everybody was like, wait, Australia's not from Europe. It's that kind of thing. So Zoe is actually from, I'm going to say she's from Simdia, right, which is an Asian country. You could also talk about like Armenia. So if you Google Armenia, who's always in the Eurovision, it says that that country's in Asia. So it's kind of like, that meme of kind of like, should this country be here? Why it's the Eurovision contest? Like, why is this country from this other place here? So that's it's a general meme. Okay, don't take anything too. I'm not making any kind of specific political comment here. Just I want to really make that like clear. But Zoe is from Simdia. I'm just doing general memes. It happens every year, guys. This sort, like the things I'm going to talk about every single year. Zoe is from Simdia, and people are like, should Simdia even be in the Eurovision Song Contest? And, you know, everybody was quite against it at first, but she comes out and she gives this like heartfelt, beautiful performance. So she's dressed in like her cultural clothing. Again, think India sort of way, even though India's never been in the Eurovision Song Contest. Again, it's not that country. I just need to emphasize that. So yeah, she's from Simdia, and she comes out on stage and she gives this beautiful lament. You can think about like countries do this like every year. I feel like France has done this. I feel like, you know, countries like, I feel like Russia did it. But yeah, like the country will come out and like they will sing this song, and like ostensibly the song is about like love and like having like her family expectations and like traditional expectations on like who she should be with, but that person broke her heart, and then she found the freedom to love like the person that she really truly loved, and she now has hope for the future. So again, I don't mean to be talking about that specific song, but it's a meme. Like there's always a song like this, at least one, if not more than one, every year. So then like towards, it's basically like, think Lana Del Rey, like a Lana Del Rey ballad where it's just like fucking beautiful, and then towards the end it kind of like there's like the beat changes and it goes into like an EDM remix. So if you've heard any of like the EDM remixes of Lana Del Rey songs, think like that transition, that shift. I'm so excited. I'm such an idiot. Again, I'm kind of hungover. So yeah, so then there's like an outfit change, right? The mood changes, outfit change, and she goes into like the party wear, and this is her party wear look. Again, she has kind of like some of the cultural symbols, but she has this like absolute kind of like, just like she owns the stage. Like, you know, we've got like lights shooting lasers all over the stage, we've got glitter, we've got like fireworks. Like it is like an explosion of light and color, and like a festival. It's just this like, you know, like those kind of like powder like things that shoot up in the air. It's kind of like colored powder. Like it's just amazing. Like, so she's gone from this controversial choice to absolutely being like, this song might win, this song might be the winner, and like everybody's just blown away. And like it's clear that this song about love is actually a song about like her country and like her country's history and like having hope for the future. Again, I didn't intend for it to be that specific country. This is a meme that happens every single year. So yeah, I actually really like that. I don't know, I like it. Again, like I have to make it clear, not that country. I'm gonna say right now, because I'm not really allowed to be political, but when it and again, this is not a new thing. This is like every year I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, why are people voting like that? Like there's no way that this country would vote that way. Or like, you know, like certain countries always vote for like their neighboring countries and things like that. Like there's always voting controversy, and I'm always sat there like, oh my god, like what is happening with the vote? Like every single year. This year, when it came down to like that final kind of split screen, and you know, like it was like you need 100 votes to win. I was holding my breath. And I was locked in on that, like that final like vote announcement. And I was praying. I was literally like praying for like a certain outcome. So when forgotten who won now. When Austria won, I let out the biggest like sigh of relief. And I was like, oh, genuinely thank God. So again, I'm not going to sort of get too specifically political, but I was like holding my breath at that final vote. And like, again, I feel like it's almost every year. I'm like, oh my God, no, that, you know, I can't believe that country's going to win, that kind of thing. So I just want to make that clear, because I don't want anyone to think I'm supporting any certain countries when I'm absolutely 100% not. Anyway, so going over to Jay Huntington III, you can see that he's dyed his hair a little bit. He's lightened his hair. He's got a bit of a tan. So he actually entered this year as a joke. He lost a bet, and his mates kind of like, you know, entered him into the Eurovision contest just as a prank. But he kind of leaned into it. He went all in. He's not a great singer. His song is like mid. Think it's kind of like his song would be like if Boyzone or NSYNC did a song version of The Wolf of Wall Street. So I'm going to show you his outfit. He just showed up, basically. He just turned up. So he's got like kind of like a suit, but it's very see-through, right? It's again Eurovision. This is what Eurovision's like, and so he's also got his eyebrow pierced for some reason. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a pop ballad. It's okay. Nobody's going to be adding it to the Spotify or anything like that. And he's basically, in the song, he's talking about how he's so good at being like a stock market bro, that he's going to be able to buy his first yacht soon and then party. And this song actually starts with this like chest beating. It's kind of like a oh, and it's like it's the Wolf of Wall Street meme, right? Yeah, he kind of comes out beating his chest, and then he kind of like he knows his song isn't good, and he knows that like what he's going to do is like play off his looks a little bit. So he's really flirting with the camera, you know, that kind of 80s boy band thing of kind of like looking down and then looking up at the camera, like really close up. He's doing that whole thing, and then even though this wasn't planned and he wasn't supposed to do this, he gets a little bit carried away at the end and unbuttons his shirt and takes his shirt off. And you know, there's a bit of controversy around this. He has to pay like a fine or something because they told him like it wasn't part of the plan. It was kind of controversial, but he doesn't really care. He just likes the publicity. He likes the attention, right? His ego has been stroked. Now, Nina and Don have entered together. This is a duet. So the vibe of Nina Caliente and Don Lothario is like, it's kind of like a heavy metal version of I Would Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That. And so what happens is they come out, I'm just going to show you her outfit to kind of like show you the vibe. So they come out from each side of the stage, and they're on motorbikes. They're not actually riding the motorbikes. They kind of like pull them out on plinths, and they pull these motorbikes out on either side of the stage, and there's like fire, you know, on the big screen behind them. It's like this fire background, and it's really dramatic, and there's, you know, everybody's dressed in leather and things like this. And it's kind of like the song's something about like you set my heart racing, like let me play with your gear shift, you know, something like that. It's like very sexual. It's kind of uncomfortable how sexual it is. It's like they're trying too hard to be sexy, and it's a little bit cringe, but it's this big power ballad that they come out singing. The only problem is, let me just show you Don's outfit as well. So he's coming from the other side of the stage. The only problem is that they actually were a couple. They entered as a couple, but kind of backstage in the semi-finals, they kind of fell out with each other. You know, Don was like, Nina accused Don of like flirting with somebody, and then she kind of like revenge went and kissed somebody else. So they've really fallen out, and they're like angry with each other. But somehow this works. So they don't want to do the performance anymore, but they're kind of like, well, you've got to, right? You're here now, you've got to do this performance. So they do the performance, but it's like the sexual tension is super high, and they're actually like genuinely mad at each other, and it's like it works really well. It's actually kind of captivating, like the passion that they put into this performance. So they do really quite well, but I don't think they're going to win. So yeah, that's kind of what they've got going. So yeah, I've given them this kind of like biker / racer vibe. So Katrina has, you know, like the thong, the whale tail, yeah, and just very highly sexualized in a mildly, this is making me uncomfortable to watch with my grandma on the sofa kind of way. It's kind of like, grandma, avert your eyes, and then you have to like look at your phone and pretend you're not interested in it because it's so sexually charged. So the last performance, and honestly this person might win. So I think Zoe is like one of the forerunners for winning. Johnny might get the kind of like controversial, this is funny, this is what Eurovision is meant to be vote. Darlene Walsh, I feel, could also win it. So every year there's kind of like one or two acts that represent like the LGBTQ QT. I always get the letters mixed up. Plus Community. They normally do quite well. Think like Conchita or Nemo this last year. And they normally get a lot of support, which is really lovely to see, I think. So I picked Darling Walsh because I think they were one of the first kind of gender fluid or non-binary Sims that we got in the game. It's not clear kind of what their pronouns are. I don't think it says anywhere in the game what pronouns they prefer, so I'm going to try and use they, them. But to show you kind of like who this is, just in case you're not sure who this Sim is, this is what they normally look like. This is kind of like their everyday outfit. I've never really liked Darling Walsh because I don't like this outfit. I don't like this style. I'm kind of like, what is this like year 7 roadman doing in my game? But when I give Darling Walsh a bit of a makeover, still keeping that kind of like tomboy style or like boyish style, I like them a lot better because I just think it's a bad outfit, right? I just think the outfits that they've chosen are not great. So when I give them a makeover, I'm like happier. So anyway, Darling Walsh, their outfit is going to be this one, and they're coming in and they're doing something that's kind of like a pretty kind of like, it's probably in like French or something. It's very pretty, like a bit of a ballad. I kind of like the idea of like, you know who won this year? Austria. I keep forgetting the country. There's too many A-named countries. You know, like they did that beautiful operatic song. So I feel like she's doing something like that. Something a bit like that. Something a bit like No Regretta Rian. So something that's like very just almost like classic Eurovision and kind of like highbrow, like actually a really, really good singer, very emotional. I liked, Nemo's performance where they were talking about kind of like, was it something that they were saying where it's like, where do I belong? Like, where should I go? So it's something like that. It's like, because like, there's a lot of laws passing at the moment where it's kind of like saying what bathroom you can go in or what bathroom you can't go in, and it's kind of like, well, where can I go? So I feel like they're doing something like that, and I feel like they could win. So let me know. That is all my Eurovision entries. Let me know if you were going to vote for one of these acts, which act would you vote for down below. Maybe we can do a little bit of a Eurovision knockout. Maybe I'll do like a poll on Twitter or something like that, and people can like vote and knock people out, and we'll see who wins. My daft Eurovision, Simvision, or whatever we would want to call it. I'm gonna leave it there. So again, I hope that you don't find this video too controversial. Again, Eurovision is such like a cultural institution for me, and so it's really hard for me to be like, I don't want to give it up, right? Like, I don't want to like let them have it. So I don't want to boycott it and kind of like let the bad people take over. I still want to keep it as something that is our culture. And I think a lot of like, like it's not political, but then it's obviously political and that sort of thing. It's part of it. It's part of the experience of it itself. I think about like sort of after Tony Blair was Prime Minister, and like England's entry, the UK's entry would always get like no points. Like it was embarrassing, and we'd put like decent acts in, but nobody would vote for us because of certain political decisions that happened around that time, which I totally get. But yeah, when people say it's not political, it absolutely is. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was interfering with some of the votes. I'm not accusing them of that, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was. So yeah, it's kind of like the controversies around it are part of the experience of watching it. It's almost like a pantomime, which again, if you're not from the UK, like pantomimes, it might seem really, really weird. Like, I don't know, it is what it is, right? And it's just, I've got so many memories of like, once I was on like a school trip, and it just so happened that Eurovision was happened while I was away. So I was in like a youth hostel with like, how many of us were there? There was probably about 6 of us in the room, 6 girls in this room, and we were watching Eurovision. It was the year that they did, Oh, what was it? It was like Love Music Baby or something was the title. Like, I want to say, don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, but that definitely wasn't the song. Like, um, down on my body, we know we're really making love now. That year, and like Gina G, like ooh ah, just a little bit, ooh ah, a little bit more. So yeah, there's like all these memories of like the different years and like where I was that year and who I was with, and you know, my family watch it together every year, and we do our own voting, and we say like who we want to win, like who the best songs are, who shouldn't win, and it would just be so sad if we lost that, right? And I understand there's like big issues around it, and I agree, right? There's things that are happening that shouldn't be happening. Yeah, it's difficult. Like, I can understand people who are boycotting it, but at the same time, like, it's kind of like if a bully tries to take your ball when you're playing football, it's like, are you just going to let them take it? Or are you going to be like, that's our ball? So that's kind of my perspective. I hope everybody understands that, and they don't take this video the wrong way. But yeah, I thought it was really fun to say, what would their act be? So yeah, I think Nancy Landgrab like hosting is just so perfect. She looks like a Eurovision host, you know? And then all the different memes of like, you know, the really fun pop song that doesn't win, but it's really catchy and everybody's playing it. For me, it's like Espresso Macchiato this year. I've got it on my Spotify. Or like, you know, is it Subwoofer? If the wolf eats your grandma, banana, I can't remember it now. It's like wolf. Like those kind of songs, like they're so catchy, they get stuck in your head. And then like Johnny Zest being like this like weird kind of like, he understood the assignment. This is Eurovision for me. Like when people come out in like the mad costumes, like it's so classic Eurovision, but it's kind of like there's a subtext there, right? There's also something else that's being said there. And then like Zoe being kind of like in the Australia or other country, where it's kind of like or like Armenia, you know, where it's kind of like, I'm going to say it's that thing of like, after that performance, like, she's just like, okay, so it's technically that country's not in Europe, but we've accepted them as part of the family, like we did with Australia, not another country. Okay. Yeah, like, or like Armenia, where it's kind of like, yeah, technically, but you know, honorary European. Yeah, that's her whole thing. And like, and just those kind of like dramatic ballads that blow your socks off, you know. And then why am I on her swimwear? That's at the pool party afterwards. And then like the entry that's kind of like, how did you get here? So if you think about when Katie Price tried to enter the Eurovision, and everybody was kind of like very for her, because it's just like that sense of humor of like, okay, we know this isn't a good act, we know this person's not the best singer in the world, but like part of the fun of Eurovision is taking it as a bit of a joke. So there's always kind of like that joke entry is just there for the attention. And then like Nina Caliente, Don Lothario, like being that kind of, you know, that like hard rock hallelujah song where they come out and it's kind of like the biker clothes, or like I can't pronounce the word properly, Måneskin, who did really, really well at the Eurovision. There's always that like rock song. So yeah, that's the rock duet. And then kind of like the Nemos and the Conchitas, who just get so much support, which is so lovely and so European, I think, to support the LGBTQT plus community. So yeah, let me know who your favourite is down in the description box below, and I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.